Yo, yo, Jarod. How's it going, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, had a little vacation time, which was nice. Back, watching this dumpster fire of a club and organization do, I don't even know what this is. So this team is so unlikable and so unwatchable. Like it is something that is not bringing any kind of joy. And we'll get into the bigger picture stuff so we can, of course, but like just everything about this whole season has just been crap. we're being honest, right? With the exception of, and look, this is not about us being sort of like jobby homers or jobby truthers, but when we had won 13 to 14 or 14 to 15, whatever it was, yes, you could say that it didn't look fun, but the underlying metrics suggested a team heading in the right direction, right? In terms of shot generation and creation, chances created, XG, and more importantly, Sid, chances given up, which were literally next to nothing, right? Because we were able to control the ball and or win it back whenever we lost it. And all that's gone. And now we're just sort of random, haphazard, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's what's going on. And today was horrible because this is like a relegation threatened team.
Literally, they're like in what, 16th or 17th place. Like,
Yep. Relegation threatened. Didn't look good until they had 10 men.
And not even then, Sid. We had 10 men for 19 minutes and could not control the ball effectively. Like they were down a man. Look, this is not about, tacticos versus this. And I hate how certain fans like to reduce it to that kind of thing. It's what we talk about all the time, Sid. This team cannot string together 2 passes in a row against 10 men. What are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. And, I just put up Ashraf's visual of like our relative metrics comparison. And, we were better at slightly more ball secure and press resistant under Carlo. But we still had Modric, who would be a godsend to this team right now. And then,
Cruz.
yeah, well, this is just comparing last season, so no Cruz. Yeah, but our defensive stability went up, our attacking threat went down slightly, and our build-up disruption went up a lot. And so now it feels like they're just running around and trying to feed the stars. Like Gonzalo, a great example of like how much things have changed is Gonzalo Garcia now plays on the right wing. He is a right winger.
That's not what what are we doing? Like,
he's a right winger, and I just feel like player power has gone far too far. Now I will say this: the Bernabeu today was not happy, and I think like they were whistling everyone but Courtois before the game. And we're hearing this from people in the stadium, like multiple different people. So Courtois is getting booed, Vinny's getting booed, and I think the optics.
You said Courtois not. He's the only one not getting.
Courtois is the only one not, and Vinny's getting a little more treatment, a little more targeted because the fans in the stadium feel like he's just dragged the institution through the mud with his negotiations, and they don't feel his performance merited. But it's not just that. He's like going early in the game before we're up 1-0 and like waving at the fans like stop booing. Bro, that's not going to work anymore. What do you think you are? You think you're some magic wizard casting spells on the crowd? Go score a goal.
Sid,
which he did.
What are his overall counting stats this season?
I think he's on like 11 goals and 9 assists or something.
And you want $30 million a year for that kind of output? I'm sorry, man. Like, I just don't like, and this is not about Vinny as much as it is about what this organization is and has become. And really it's who they've always been. But because we've had generational people at certain positions, it has masked and covered a lot of this, right? You and many people have talked about the absence of Cruz and Modric over the last couple of years, right? And what that means. And yes, my pushback was always, but Cruz and Modric don't exist on trees. Like it ain't like you can go get one right now that exists, right? They're not there, right? So this is what you have. So, and again, not to make this about Xabi Alonso, but to go back, Xabi Alonso realized that, right? He wanted a Zubimendi. They said no. He said, all right, let me figure out how to work best with what I have to still do what I think is necessary for us to win games, which, by the way, we were doing, right? Like, and yet, players wanted to buck because they didn't want to watch film. They wanted to go on vacation in the middle of the week. They didn't want to travel a day before. They wanted their friends and their family to hang around practice. And so I said a million times, I said this week on a tweet after we lost to Benfica, are the players having fun? Arbeloa told us, I just told the players to go out and have fun. Hey, was today fun, guys? Was that fun? Did you enjoy that?
The insane amount of gaslighting that you can just let the players do what they want when they're not good is ridiculous. And LeConte has a good tweet here just about if you have to optimize for a system if you don't have the players. And that's what Zidane did when he came back. When Eden Hazard got hurt, he wasn't trying to develop Vinny when Vinny was too young. Yes, we had to change to Carlo to get that from Vinny. But now it's the same idea. You do something for a few years in a row, it stops working, you have to change. The other thing is the life cycle in football. I'm willing to accept that you can try something like a Carlo style, but the life cycle is like 3 years. It's not like you can't do that for 10 years. You need, like, we went Mourinho, then we went loose with Carlo, then we went Benitez/Zidane, and Zidane, the first spell was looser, but then we went for a more tactical Zidane before we got Carlo. So we basically got like a Mourinho style tactical schooling for the team before Carlo. Yeah, these guys just need to go to school, man.
And look, if you want to be able to play loose and free, then you need to have Benzema, Bale, Ronaldo, Cruz, Modric, Di Maria, Marcelo, Isco. Sure, then you can do what the fuck ever you want, right? Because everybody that I just mentioned are among the best of the best as ever played in their position, can control, have super high football IQs. Like, okay, cool, do what you want to do. Nobody on this squad outside of Mbappe, right, and Courtois have that level on a consistent basis. So no, you can't just do whatever you got to do. I have to your Sid's point, I have to optimize what you do well. And I want to be clear, we have players who do things well. I'm going to optimize what you do well for the sake of, wait for it, guys, the collective, so that we all win together, as opposed to, man, I just got to keep platforming Vinny and tell him he's the greatest ever. Tell him you're never getting subbed off. Do whatever you want, bro. Like, I love you. Like, do you want me to slurp your bathwater? Like, whatever, man. Like, okay.
Yeah. So on that note, the gaslighting, I think what surprised me going into this game is like how much gaslighting was coming from the club, like the fake fan discourse. So he did a few things simultaneously. First, he's having Arbeloa go out and push that the line, like I have untouchables. He's telling Arbeloa to coddle them as untouchables. And then two, he is telling people in the stadium, I think in the loudspeakers, they're saying, don't boo, fake Madridistas. And he increased the volume of everything on the speakers.
I saw that. The volumes got cranked up to drown out the boos. Guys, this is Real Madrid.
Wait, that's not the only one, though. The craziest one, Jarod, I think this is the funniest one. We got to go. Is he's now trying to tell you that you're an extremist ultra sir, like a violent fan, if you are criticizing the club. So now he's trying to paint you as some like delusional, like violent person who's going to go and like break things in the stadium if you're criticizing the club.
This is, again, I always talk about this. Real Madrid, for its history, right? Greatest Champions League winning team, all the greatest club in the history of world club football. The things that this organization does are so lowbrow, and this is the kind of thing I would expect from a bottom of the table, second division B team, somebody who does not have the history and pride that we love to tout and say this is what makes us so great. Like, that is Bush League type of behavior. We're gonna drown out the boos because we can't take boos. No, you get booed because you're not doing well, and that's everybody, not just the players. Florentino, the board, JAS, Junical, everybody, all of you are responsible for this disaster class we are seeing unfold before our eyes. And Sid, look, I am not one to root for my team to fail, but you and I know this. When you win things, it does not allow you to be self-critical, right? If somehow, and it's possible because look, we just salvaged victory from the jaws of defeat, right? At the end of this match, which we at worst should have tied, right? Or at best should have tied. Because Barcelona is not good, this team can still luck its way into winning La Liga this year. And that will be the worst thing. Because guess what? If we win La Liga this year, guys, what do you think happens? All that does to the board is say, see, We knew we were right all along. Like, Xabi Alonso was the problem. You're going to let the players do whatever they want. That's going to be confirmation bias for what they believe already.
Yep. It's going to be bad. And honestly, the other thing that they don't need confirmation bias for is this idea that you can bring Pintus back and magically get the players fit, and boom, Jude's out. And there were so many people saying, hey, we look fitter the last few games, and it's so silly. It's like, okay, he made them do more endurance work. Maybe they'll have a good game here or there where they have temporary cardiovascular endurance boosted. But like on the whole, the load management, the soft tissue stuff, none of that is being figured out. And it's getting worse maybe.
And hamstrings, guys, are notoriously tricky. Like, this is a month easy. He's not going to play, right? Like, easy. And look, everyone knows on this who listens to the show that we love Jude on this podcast, but we are also honest when we critique players, right? Jude is not having an elite season. Even forget about the goals and the assists. Even by you're dropping to be a DLP, deep line playmaker, you're being number 8, whatever. Even by those standards, right? He is not playing to his best every match. Still playing well, but not as well as he can be playing. Yep. You take away that out of the equation. What do we got now? Ceballos and Brahim? And again, this is not about me shitting on Ceballos and Brahim. It's just the reality of, okay, and you think this team is doing what? Beating Benfica in the Champions League playoff? Listen, Benfica's already going to roll into those matches, Sid, and I don't care. Oh, we got the second match, the Bernabeu, whatever. Look, Rayo just came in here, a 17th seeded team in the league, and really should have left with a draw. Like, you don't think Jose Mourinho can get his guys amped up enough to figure out a way to come in here and get a result?
They might, honestly. He might. And, just to add to that, this, I don't think, I think Carlo was better than this, man. I'd rather give me Carlo back over this. At least he Carlo at least was working. Like, Carlo's really good in possession. I think Arbeloa is bad in possession. Like, really, really bad right now. Like,
Arbeloa told us, he just tells go out there and have fun, man. Anything that happens a loss, it's on me. And let's pull up the quotes have happened yet. Who knows what bullshit Arbeloa is spewing right now?
Oh man. Yeah. I told you about Vinny. You just have to give him confidence. See, he scored. They better stop whistling. He's gonna say shit like that. Let's see.
He's gonna say something stupid like that. I'm sure.
Okay, so Fede said everyone's working in the one team spirit. Everyone is focused, working at maximum energy, and today the substitutes show that. So he's choosing to focus, maybe hyper focus on that. If you look at the XG chart, he's just focusing on that last 10 minutes with the 10 men here and trying to take it away as a positive. But he also says, honestly, we didn't create many clear chances, but I think the energy and the changes the coach made brought a lot of enthusiasm. I think the 10 men did, Fede. I think the red card bailed us out, man. Like, Gonzalo Garcia was on the right wing. We saw that. It was pure frantic energy.
You also saw it, Sid. We looked okay in the first half in terms of possession, and when Vinny scored the goal, by the way, that was nice touch from Arda. And we'll get into the specifics to Brahim, and then Brahim down to Vinny. That was really an individual Galazzo and a hell of an effort, which, by the way, right before he shot it, the ball was getting stuck in his foot, and that was one of those moments where it would be a classic, oh shit, he might give the ball away again, right? But he's able to recover in time and score. Once Rayo started pressing us, Sid, shock of all shocks, we can't do anything once they, and again, this is fucking Rayo Vallecano, not the Rayo from the first 4 weeks of the season when you were like, oh shit, I think they got a result against Barcelona at home, like, you were like, not that Rayo, the 16th, the relegation zone Rayo, where they are right now.
Yeah, they were 1-1. They got a 1-1.
Just press this team. Just press this team a little, and they will fall apart.
Or if we could just manipulate the ball, but yeah, none of that's happening, and it's looking cooked. Honestly, I will say the fans in the stadium. The report was coming back from one of our fans that when it was 1-1 before the red card. They were like, just put us out of our misery, man. We need to set this place on fire. And I still think that's going to happen this season. It's just a question of when.
We're going to have some horrible Champions League crash out, I'm sure. Like, look, I don't know how anybody can watch this team and think, and I tweeted this, Sid, certain fans' inability to understand the bigger picture behind this, because all they want to tell us is, just get us a controlling midfielder and get this coach in and we'll be fine.
They just want to brag to their friends that they won at the end of the day. They don't care. They don't care how much time they spend hoping until they brag. They're like, they could go 10 years just convincing themselves of shit. Or maybe, actually, I wouldn't say that. We've just won so much that they really think it's a matter of like hoping. They just think it's a matter of being delusional. And you know what? I think the craziest thing is this. A lot of the tactics world was very against me when I was making fun of them in 22, because I was always like, hey, we had a shot. Like, don't play dumb. It's not like the only timeline where we don't win. But yes, I admit it's one of the most improbable wins. But hey, Chelsea did it in 2012. You know, like Chelsea 21 wasn't as lucky, but you know, you've seen teams that are plucky underdogs figure it out. And so I think it's just funny because 22, I was seen as delusional among some of the tacticos in our fan base. Even our fan base was pessimistic then because it had been 4 years since the last Champions League. The same group of players it was some of the same group, but it had changed too. We had and there was no Ronaldo. We hadn't seen our players as protagonists. Now it's all rose tinted glasses where they see these guys as the guys who already won 2 years ago. But I just think the math is not there. But it's just weird because Barcelona's defense is bad. But let's look at the
horrendous.
What's the standings looking like? They created the most expected goals of any team since we started recording data. 7 expected goals in their last game. I saw there was a good tweet from Raghib Hassan, one of our fans. He was saying, like, you know, they're putting up 2012 Madrid offensive numbers, like 5 guys on 10 plus goals and assists or something.
Correct. That's the thing about Barcelona. Yes, their defense is like a sieve, and they will give up tons of chances, but they create a ton of XG and score a shit ton of goals, far more than we do. Right. Yep. So this is what you're fighting against, right? In any match, you're never like, oh, can Barcelona score? Like they're gonna score at some point. You know that, right? The question is, will you be able to take advantage of your chances when you get them, right? And with the way this team plays so haphazard, this being Madrid and helter skelter, there's no guarantee of that. Look, Mbappe had that once he in that foot race beat the goalie, right? Had the wide open net, hit the crossbar, right? Like again, in a low margin sport. Thank goodness we got that penalty, right? Like, because if we didn't, this game is ending in a 1-1 draw.
Yep.
Like, easy. And so, you know, let's go back to sort of like the beginning of today. When I saw the lineups come out, I was like, is Carreras hurt? Like, why is Camavinga playing left back and not Carreras?
I don't know, but it does give off vibes of like, you know, I'm just going to go with the older heads in the team. It's the same vibes as Gonzalo Garcia playing right wing because Carreras is good at left back. And Camavinga... like we didn't control the midfield with 2 midfielders at fullback, so and against Rayo. So officially, like this only adds to my belief that we're cooked. Like I don't see how we build on this. Like because we've seen these guys not get better under multiple coaches for years, and you know I agree with the idea. One guy said, you know, like Tchouaméni, that goal. I gotta say, I love his ups, and I like how he bought into Alonso and got better, but his downs. He's basically like really bad, and I get it's partly because he plays center back. He's better as a 6, but then as a 6, he still has these lapses where he's not tracking a runner. And I do think, honestly, I admit this. Like we criticized coaches for years, but these two, it's true when he's 100 million. Camavinga was 30, first of all. So, but neither of them have lived up to it because Camavinga's always hurt. And Tchouaméni, and it's partly on us for playing them out of position. And because honestly, the window of growth was like when they first joined, and when they became what they were, changing that is getting harder with each passing day.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You know, on that goal that Rayo scored, the equalizer, Sid, like you saw it coming before it happened. I was like, what? Oh my God, like why are we walking? Like, and all the space the Rayo players had to pass the ball, set up, send that cross in. I was like, everybody's jogging. I was like, forget it, goal's coming. I literally, I'm like, oh, here it comes, like pass, goal. I see it now because we're just not like, we're not attached, we're not connected, we're not cohesive. On the Camavinga Tchouaméni front, people who listen to this podcast know I love those guys so much, but I'm also a realist and I'm pragmatic when it comes to things. And at some point, you have to divorce yourself from the love you have for players that were yours because we either got them young or they came from La Fabrica. Because if this is an organ, and I know we bought them when they were super young. If this is an environment where they're not going to get a true path to development like they should have, then it's just not working, right? Then you need to get ready-made players who do exactly what you want to do.
Or accept their role players. Just treat them like role players.
Or correct, accept their role players. The thing about Tchouaméni that is disheartening, Sid, and I don't think we got to see it with Camavinga because Xabi eventually got fired. Tchouaméni was developing and hitting that trajectory, Sid, where I was like, yo, he could be the best DM in the world. I could see Xabi building him into that. But Then he gets fired, and then it's like, okay, random, do what the fuck ever you want, everybody. Now, remember, when the reports came out about who was in Xabi's camp and who wasn't, Tchouaméni, one of the players firmly in the Xabi Alonso camp. Remember
Tchouaméni seemed to love it.
Cup,
Yep.
what did he say? Tchouaméni is an essential player for me, right? Because again, if you are someone who is limited in certain areas of your game, then you need structure more than anybody else, right? And he was given structure to do what he does well. Now you take away his structure, and it's like, okay, you might get some good. You're probably gonna get a lot of mediocre to bad, right?
Yep.
And Camavinga was hurt most of the time, but when Xabi deployed him as a right winger, I want to say, against Barcelona, and at that first, we were like, wait, again, because Xabi had the mind to be like, I see all the gifts these players have. I also see their weaknesses. Here's what I'm going to construct so that your gifts are put at the best possible position for us to succeed and to mask your deficiencies. But when you got Arbeloa saying, just go out and have fun, guess what you got? You ain't masking deficiencies there, because now it's all laid to bear. And unfortunately, we did not get to see what that would truly look like. Look, we don't know what history's going to say, Sid, but I think giving up on the Xabi Alonso project may be one of the markers in this club's history as like just a boneheaded decision. And just
Unai Emery's not going to come in and like work with this hierarchy. There's no.
Well, here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, Unai Emery." I'm like, okay, you think that guy?
You just called Alonso Benitez. Like how? What's?
You know how detail-oriented fucking Unai Emery is, and you think he wants to come here to work with this shit?
It's ridiculous. And on Vinny, I just want to say people are cashing the receipts with him way too fast, dog. Like scoring against these teams every other game doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't mean shit. And yes, he was good today. Good goal. All right, I'll just pull up his stats. 0.8 goals plus assists per 90 without penalties. 21-22. So basically a goal or assist 8 out of 10 games.
Right.
0.77 the next year with Benzema hurt a lot. And so, you know, he elevates to more of a number one option and maintains performance. That is very good. Then 0.88, 23-24. Again, the trajectory where everyone felt he was destined for the Ballon d'Or. He should have won the Ballon d'Or. Right. I am not one of those vindictive fans that's like, yes, he didn't win, get out of here. No, I'm upset for him.
He should have won it, clearly.
But his response has been pathetic because he is now at, like, and you know, when at the time of the Ballon d'Or, he was our best player. Mbappe wasn't. And then 0.4 last season. 4 goals, 4.
Half the production. Half.
Yes, half.
He went down half the production.
And this season, he's at 0.55. And I'm pretty sure it peaked when he was getting benched and when he was throwing tantrums. I'm pretty sure that was when it was at its best. It's fallen off since November. That's the craziest part. Like, his per 90 has gotten worse. And, you know, I saw a great tweet from this account on Twitter, Don Shelby, hilarious. He has, like, a Peaky Blinders profile. Oh, man, that guy's funny. And he was just saying, like, you know, like, you're a clown and a sheep if you, like, boo at 1-1 but aren't just booing the whole game. This result, and he was saying you could score 4 today, Vinny, and I wouldn't care. And I honestly agree now. I think these flat track bullying against these teams means nothing because we're clearly trending away from building the fundamentals to be a great team again. And honestly, like, I will say the Bernabeu fans do, like, I think they were even booing it a little bit at halftime, but I think the socio part of the crowd is like us, by the way. And I think that's why Perez is trying to push this argument about the Ultra Cert, because it's like, oh no, the socios who are members agree with the tacticos. We have a problem, guys.
No, it for sure. This is the stage of what an emperor who's trying to hold on to power, realizing it's crumbling around him, does. Right? These are the kind of moves you turn institutional power against your supporters, right? And this is what he's doing, right? And ultimately, if you are a Madrid fan and you want change, Sid, you have to want this to go spectacularly bad. Because again, if this team finds a way to sneak a La Liga title in on like we wouldn't win goal differential because Barcelona scores way more than we do. But whatever, if we find a way to sneak out a league title, it's just going to be bad. Or God forbid, Sid, we somehow escape Benfica and Man City shits the bed and we get to the fucking semifinals or whatever of the Champions League. It's bad. You don't want this. Because again, it is papering up and covering over the obvious problems that anybody forget about a discerning eye. Any person who's a working understanding of sports works, if you drop them in and showed them what's been going on with this club from since Alonso was hired to now, would be like, yo, something's wrong with this. Is like the greatest club in the history of world football. Why are they acting like this? This is weird. This doesn't make any kind of sense.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. And just going through some of these quotes, I just got to read them out. Arbelo, as a coach, I was missing this time to work. We will focus during these 2 weeks on improving the team individually and collectively.
How?
Okay.
They don't want to watch film. So what work are you going to be doing collectively? They don't want to do anything. So what are you going to be doing?
Winning in the final minutes gives a huge morale boost and always brings confidence. Rayo are a good team and always causes problems. They did so in the first leg too. Every season that Rayo comes to the Bernabeu, they're a tough opponent. The Bernabeu crowd, okay. I think they realized a few things. He said the Bernabeu crowd played a key role in pushing us to win a tough match against a team that always causes us problems. He said we have had more games and training sessions. Honestly, dude, like Xabi came in without a preseason, dog. Like it's all the same shit. It is what it is. And we will have 2 good weeks to prepare to improve both collectively and individually. So he is crediting the Bernabeu. I just think maybe at some point he would realize it's a battle he's never gonna win. Like he's gonna like lose. Like if a new presidency comes in fed up with all this, like that's it. They're gonna fire everyone part of this shit. It's just you have to.
It is. How could you not? I'm looking at a stat right now, Sid, from Opta. Real Madrid have conceded 94 goals in 76 games across all competitions since the start of 2025, with only Eintracht Frankfurt, 96 and 55, conceding more goals among all teams from Europe's top 5 leagues. That is fucking atrocious. You ain't winning with that kind of defensive performance. And oh wait, shock of all shocks, have we won a trophy, a major trophy since 2005, 2025? The answer is no, right? And we are not on course to do that this year.
Yeah, it's cooked, man. It's cooked. Honestly, it's just it's depressing following the team. It's hard even running the show, man. Honestly, like it's brutal. Like we honestly, a big motivation to start the show is hope that we're building a new era of football that we could analyze. And hey, if we win again, it's fun. But the lows of Real Madrid are super low, is what stands out over the last 20 years. It's like the highs are super high, but the lows are like really super low. And yes, highs come out of nowhere after, but like, man, we were on a big drought from 2002 to 2014, and there was a process. And you know, only after that drought did we accept the process. Pellegrini, Mourinho, and it just feels like we won't accept the process anymore. I don't know where we go from here. Like this win, honestly, yeah. And with everything you're saying, I'm kind of disappointed that we got bailed out by the 10 men. The goal, it was undeserved, in my opinion.
100% undeserved. And Sid, the reality is that Florentino, when he came back for his second term, he changed the laws so that, one, it makes it hard for anybody else to run as a president, right? 2, the entire board and the people who make the decisions on the board are Florentino's yes men. Right. So he's essentially going to be picking his own successor who he wants to run the club exactly how he would run it. So I don't know how this gets better from that standpoint, unless it gets so bad that his people, that was that I was talking about, even his people turn on him, and or the rest of the socios are able to put together enough internal power to force him out. Because, look, and this is not about having short memory and not recognizing what Florentino's done. Next to Santiago Bernabeu, and possibly even higher than Santiago Bernabeu, Florentino has ushered the Real Madrid brand into the 21st century in a way that nobody else could even dream of. The greatest president in club history. But, man, everybody's reign and era comes to an end. Right? You're not elite and great. Just like how players fall off and their skills go, same thing happens for presidents and people in the administration seat. Yep. Executives, same thing. And it's time. It's just time.
Or he shows he's changing everything this summer, but I don't know. I think it's going to be Kima Andres, Keith Smith, these young guys. I don't see obvious options on the market, and Florentino's always great at picking up the option that you think you can't even get, like a Trent or a Jude, which is amazing.
And here's the thing about Kema and Keys, Sid, and Nico Paz, if they would come back just because of a money standpoint. Okay, I wouldn't care. But then you have to marry that with the reality of what is going to happen, which is this is going to be a process, and we care about the underlying process. So when these players are 23, 24, 25, 26, we are now set for an era of dominance. So on the way to getting there, it's going to look ugly at times because they're young and learning, but you have to be okay with that and hire a coach who is going to.
But they're not on Mbappe's timeline. You can't. It's so disrespectful. It's almost disrespectful to him, right?
You see, this is the point. This is why you don't go out and get fucking Mbappe's and whatever, and then do that strategy. If you're going to do the Mbappe tentpole, then everybody at every other position, I'm not saying best in the world, has to be a fully formed, already elite at what they do, and we move forward that way. Not this. It's almost like the Golden State Warriors 2 timeline thing, right? They were trying.
Yes.
Right? You cannot have Steph and Draymond and these guys and then say, let's also play Kaminga. No. It's one or the other. You can't do both. Yes,
and actually on that note, going back to Vinny, Vinny was better today. He applauded the fans after the final whistle, even though he was like tone deaf when he was trying to tell him to stop booing. Don't ever do that again, bro. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. We're just gonna boo you louder next time. We're gonna tell everyone in the stadium to boo you. Like, we're never gonna stop. I mean, we might stop because it's not fun to watch anymore, but that's a different story. But see, then you're not getting paid either because then the stadium receipts are going down, man. So. Right. Well, I hate to say it. We're too big for that to happen, but the reality is we're not so big that the fans in the stadium are all like Man United type fans. No, they have expectations. We're not like there yet, which is good. One question I have for you, because on the Golden State Warriors thing, like racism is a real thing, but when a player who's had experienced racism is in a tough moment and they use that to try and absolve responsibility,
right.
I think, and when you brought up the Golden State Warriors, I couldn't help but think of Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler told Jimmy Butler.
I know,
because you're just ruining it for people who are actually talking about racism, right? Like because Jimmy Butler tore his ACL, and now you're mad you're not winning, so you go and they're like, oh, I'm a black man, referees get in my face in America, dude. Like you're losing, you're letting it out. Like, come on, just
and also. It's also the messenger. Draymond, you, as anybody who watched the Chappelle show would know this reference, are a habitual line stepper. Right? Always, right, Draymond? It's you 24/7. And I would argue, Sid, referees give him the benefit of the doubt way more than they should.
Listen, he's a great defender, but the amount of contact he got away with in those playoff runs, number one of like him at the rim, just he like Harden, he would foul the shit out of Harden in the playoffs, and he knew how to get away with it. But he's a line stepper who chokes players, who fights players, and he's coming out and like, bro, ref, don't put a hand in my face. Right. That's racism in America. Like,
nah,
what?
Bro, nah, no. We don't believe you. You need more people. No, that's not it, Draymond. No. You are a habitual line stepper and really should have been tossed out of way more games in your career than you have been, right? And the way refs allow him to talk to them during games because he's Draymond Green, I'm like, bro, you are a disrespectful motherfucker, right? Like he just is wildly disrespectful. So full of shit. But yes, to your point,
but
you cannot use those things again. You then you cheapen it for when it's actually happening and someone's talking about it for them people not to believe, right? Because you use it as a crutch instead of taking accountability. And this is where we bring it full circle, Sid. It comes back to Real Madrid players.
Vinny,
no one wants to take accountability for why we're not doing well. I am not playing up to my standards. That's why we're not playing well.
Well, I would also add that not only is Florentino doing the thing where he's saying you're an ultra if you boo it, I believe like the same sort of narrative favors Vinny, where it's like, hey, you're a racist Real Madrid fan who always hated me, who never backed me when there was racism. If you don't support me now, you're biased. And it's just the dumbest shit in history, man. It's like, because from there, I don't know, it takes a lot to build yourself back up if you're pushed. And I'm not saying Vinny pushes those, but that's the narrative that's out there in the fan base. Yes, you have some parts of the fan base that are like different. It's a Spanish fan base. They go after drunk Jude a lot, as we know. But
and let's be also clear. Call it what it is. There are portions of racism who are racist, but it just is. Like it is what it is. Call it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look at Carvajal. He doesn't love fighting for Vinny. And I think ultimately it's because there's always been two sides to the coin. Vinny experiences racism, but also Vinny needed Cruz and Modric to tell him to stop doing some shit and just focus on the game. Both sides of the coin are true, and fundamentally misconstruing criticism of him as like being racist doesn't help anyone. Honestly, it just doesn't. Like calling a spade is great, but doing this shit, calling us like ultras, it's just stupid, man. And this is what politicians do when they're on their way out, man. That's what they do.
It is shifting the blame and again not taking accountability. The great players in any sport, and by the way, I see this quote about Rafael Nadal. He's a long way away from even being eligible, one, to run for president, and two, again, we talked about how Florentino's consolidated his power, how the board members are basically all his cronies and yes men. Like it's going to take a lot, guys, a lot, which is why, again, I'm never someone to say root for total disaster from your organization, but the only way this happens quicker is if total disaster happens. It's the only way.
The three-peat doesn't happen if Barcelona don't win the treble in 14-15, probably. Because we don't go sign that much debt, because we're not looking at the team that lost 4-0 to Atletico in Barcelona. We're not, like, spitting on... Like, Arbeloa was so bad, Contrao. Like, our backups were useless that year. And then he went and signed a deep set of backups that were amazing. And honestly, and it's funny, Pintus was still there, I believe, for Carlos' first spell. Maybe, or maybe not. It's just Carlos always used the same method of running his players after practice, run more to, like, build endurance. Periodization, peak twice in the season because you worked hard earlier in training. And then you kind of let go loose, and you have more endurance later in the season. But it's just that defeat back then was huge, and I don't think people realize like every defeat contributed to victory.
Extreme failure is what allows you to be hyper self-critical and analyze where you are wrong and where you need to improve and where do you get better. Sid, no matter what sport you talk about, the elite of the elite, the people in the GOAT conversation, whenever you hear them have deep, introspective conversations, what is the thing they talk about the most? Are the moments where they failed. Why do they keep going to those? Because that is where they learned the most. Not the wins, where they were at the lowest and were failing. Because that's when you're like, yo, I have to be 1000% honest in this moment, right? Why I'm failing is because of these areas, and I need to get better in these areas if I'm going to be what I think I'm going to be. That's just the reality of how this goes. And so, again, for a club that wins consistently and thinks winning is its birthright, man, that is not the way you move through life. And to your point, this club shouldn't be like this because it isn't as though this club is consistent, Sid. If you look at everything this club does, it's peaks and valleys, right? And so how do we create an environment where the success is sustainable, right? How do we create an environment where, let's be honest, we should, in the last 5 years, we should have probably won this league title 4 out of 5 times, if not 5 out of 5.
Yeah, we should have won more leagues.
This league? Come on. What are we doing here?
And would that not have helped us as a club to keep winning? I feel like it would. Like, what was the downside?
Yes.
People, I mean, if your argument is that you have to tank on purpose every other year to win the Champions League, then just say it. Just say that, because that's what a lot of people seem to want now. That's what people seem to be okay with. I love what we went through. I also don't think that's just going to happen again. The last 4 years aren't coming back. It was just obviously 1 of 1. Modric was like 36 when he was playing that outside of the boost pass against Chelsea. You won't find someone like that. Iniesta was eating beef and Iniesta was eating like beef in Japan at that age, and scamming his club for 30 million, like literally scamming his club. Next time there's a Cruiser Modric, they're just gonna take the Saudi deal. They're not gonna be like, I mean, it's not necessarily like that, but it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
We are not set up to succeed long term, right? Do I think we have talent on this club? 100%. We're not deep enough, clearly. We don't, to a point that Sid's made, that I've made it ad nauseum. When we had episodes you guys should go back and listen to. I had Henry Abbott on here talking about his book. Sid Nine did a whole episode about medical staff performance and injury training. Like, this is the next frontier, guys, this predictive analytics type thing. If Madrid was cutting edge where they were supposed to be, Jude doesn't even play this match today. You know why? Because all the stuff's being done and he's in the red zone and they're like, nope, not taking the field today, my man. Like, you're at whatever the percentage is, 45% risk of, popping your hamstring today. Not going to happen. You need whatever it is, 10 days off and this kind of muscle stimulation, this, blah, 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 whatever. Like, but again, those things don't happen unless you have an organization that is built on trust, that has cutting edge at all these different areas, that is given people. When you hire people, Sid, when you're running a big-time club or organization, you're someone like Madrid, you hire the best of the best, right? Because you can attract those people in. But then you empower them, right? Keyword, empower them to do what they are good at. You don't neuter them or cut them off at the knees, right? Which is what they did to Xabi Alonso. Now we got Pintus back in here, who again, this bears repeating. Pintus is back because Florentino, and I quote, believes he is the secret sauce to Madrid's Champions League success. What the fuck? Sid, that is not backed in
Florentino's superstitious. He's just become superstitious. He just reminds me of people in my life who become superstitious because they've achieved enough and got to a stage. They're like, I'm going to stay this way because this is what got me here. And that's just where Florentino strikes me as now. Honestly, so it is what it is, man. And I agree that Arbeloa has maybe been harsh on Arda at points. I think now with Jude out, I think it's back to go to Arda ball a little more.
It has to.
Yeah, we don't have too many options.
That's the thing. We have limited options. Who else is going? Unless you bring up Castilla kids. That's the only other thing.
Yep, and Arda obviously playing deeper today wasn't too pretty. It is what it is, and man, it's a sad situation.
You know what's interesting too? This is a World Cup summer, right? So all of our players, for the most part, are going to be, except for Brahim, are going to be busy this summer. When, let's say the thing happens where it's like, okay, they tear it down, they bring somebody in, they give them power. When is their preseason and their time?
Oh, it's a World Cup summer. We're
to get better.
We're cooked.
When is that happening?
We're cooked. We the last 2 World Cups, we didn't do shit after those. Like the last three.
So guys, this could be heading into another year of this type of stuff because again, you bring in new players. When are you going to have time to implement this new system?
Yeah,
not this summer.
For sure. Last thing to close on, I think there's a lot of pushback on the idea that we need to be self-critical, mostly from the online world. Why?
Who doesn't understand? That's how you get better, is by being self-critical.
Well, I feel like he's paying people, like he's paid journalists to just come out and put it out there that you can't be self-critical. It's just what the vibe is, and players obviously don't deserve criticism from a lot of casuals. They should shrug it off naturally, but we're so past the point. Like we're so past the point where we can pretend we can just close our eyes and win the Champions League. And I just think it's just crazy that people are trying to feed the Kool-Aid, man. It's just too much Kool-Aid. As someone who created Kool-Aid and drank it in 22 and 24, I literally like I drew the Kool-Aid out of my blood and drank it in front of y'all on camera. But that shit, like, it's gone, man. It's gone. And because I've been saying a lot of provocative things. One of the things I was saying is, like, people thought we were back when we gave up 20 shots to Monaco and said Real Madrid isn't about tactics. Yes, we are going to laugh at you, clowns. We are going to laugh at you. I don't care how many group chats you people who are scared of pretending your face on social media go and talk in. Half the people talking, it's really funny, who are, like, defending Perez. Right. They're people who were too scared to, like, they'll put their location as somewhere else from they were until Elon changed. Those are the sort of people we're talking. People who are pretending to be from the Netherlands, from India. Like, we know you. You clowns are the ones who are defending Perez. You are all doing free marketing for him. You have no dignity, no self-respect. We will not be doing that. We don't do free marketing for these guys.
Would it surprise you, Sid, if someone did an expose and it came out that Real Madrid had pro-Perez bots they were paying on Twitter to, like, disseminate this information?
See, that's the thing. I don't think he's at bots, but it's pretty obvious he's paying. Like, we already talked about the Diaro AS he paid in, like, 15 years ago. He pays people. Well, I think the fun question would be, what if, like, these fucking companies actually prosecuted people for saying things they're paid to say? That would be sweet. Politics, sports, that would be sweet. Fabrizio would be in prison. Some of these guys would be in prison. I mean, not actually in prison, but, it could get serious. But I do think disclosing where you believe things is so essential. And because you have this flip side. Like, I remember in high school history, Jarod, they used to teach us, like, hey, when you get a source, like, question, who's the person? Why are they saying this? Like, why did they write this? What's their bias and POV? Now these fans are doing the opposite. They're like, hey, you heard Vinny in the press conference say all of it is a lie. And it's just, dude, you are literally so dumb. Like, you are literally devolving back in time with your brain. You're going back to the Stone Age with these critical thinking skills.
And look, part of it is fandom by its nature is an irrational state of being, right? Fan is short for fanatic. A fanatic is an irrational person, right? You are irrational and you're heretical in your thinking about whatever it is you are a fan of, right? Because it's emotion based and not logic and intuitive based, right? And I'm not saying that's wrong. That's what makes sports fun. But when we are trying to analyze what is going on and how we fix things, the fan part of your brain must turn off and you must understand this from a logical perspective. If you were running this, and it is, Madrid is a corporation, this side of how things are being run is like fucking elementary school bullshit. Like, right? Chefs telling overriding nutritionists and being like, nah, don't listen to her. She don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Have some donuts and fucking croissants before games. Like, what?
Man, that's what led to Jude's hamstring, man. Pintus comes in, he's like, let them eat whatever they want. Let them eat seed oils, let them eat trash, let them eat garbage, and man.
Because Sid, what you eat has no impact on your performance, so it's fine.
No, absolutely not. No, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, do whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously with genetic freaks, it matters less. But I mean, I just think Vinny is the perfect example of what happens when you lose your 1v1. Like when you lose some of your natural separation ability, you look so civilian, and that can happen if you're not optimized in the modern game. Just especially for fast twitch players, like you have to have that shit locked down. They're gonna age badly if you don't figure that shit out, or they're gonna keep getting hurt and never figure out the tactics like a Camavinga. You got to figure that shit down.
And that was what I think Xabi realized that. That's part of the reason why they were set up the way they were set up, right? Not doing the constantly spam Vinny every time.
And boring.
Right? Because he's like, you're going to be burnt out if we keep doing this. In a year, you will have no career and we're not going to win. So it's much better if we play this way with better build up, control possession. But nobody wanted to do that. Everybody wanted to go to Ibiza, not watch film and do whatever the fuck.
And claim victory after Monaco and Villarreal is like, yo, we figured it out. Clowns. Stupid clowns.
People telling me Madrid was back after beating Monaco 6-1. I was like, a Monaco squad that is terrible in Ligue 1 and clearly horrendous in the Champions League. Yeah. Tell me again, guys, how Real Madrid is back.
Yeah. Totally, man. Totally. And I know Mbappe missed today, but I do want to say I still don't think he's the problem, even though there are flaws with him with Ronaldo, and I've made fun of him for those before. I will say, like, the last thing is I think him and Courtois got to stay. And I mean, Courtois, we can figure out he's still getting older. Like, you want to bring in someone maybe who can play some cup games. But I mean, Lunin is here, who is a change up on the ball with the ball at his feet. Nice change up. And but yeah, Kylian is not the problem, but Kylian could improve. But I think like a lot of the narrative around him, even though he's worse in aspects of the game, are still like Ronaldo before we won. We went 5 years before we won the first Champions League with him here. Messi won like 1, 2, and he could have won more. The idea was Messi's just winning everything and running away with it. So there's time, but yeah, I think a lot of this team can be changed. But man, to close out, Jarod, any closing thoughts here? Obviously, everyone should like, subscribe, and support us. Support real human beings who don't fall to the crowd. I appreciate one of the fans who said we say it like it is. We do, man. We do. We don't. Yeah. A lot of people say things so they can get engagement or clicks.
Right.
And we get engagement because we speak our mind, and we're one of the few ones. Just want to put it out there. Like, people keep quoting it and getting mad, clowns, but that's because we speak our mind. We're not engagement baiting you. Like, this is just what we believe.
Correct. Of course, as Sid said, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Like this video, please. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure your the alert little bell button's hit up so you know every time we go live and there's new content out. And again, those of you who know from my time covering the NBA and other sports at large, I am a fan. But when it is time for me to analyze, I don't look at surface things. I go deep into the actual underlying foundation and structure, because that is what will tell me what is going on. If the core is rotten, then my prognosis for your future is not good. Can you get lucky here and there? Sure. Because if you have enough elite talent, sometimes elite talent wins out. That happens, right? But if you are trying to create a culture of sustained success, right? And that's what we're talking about. Not winning it every year, but every year you are 1-2 in La Liga, especially in the down La Liga right now, you're pretty much winning it ad nauseum, and you are, semifinals, Champions League, winning it, like, then we know, okay, the culture is there. But this high, low, like, that's not good, right? Something is, we know it's rotten. We discussed it for the bulk of this podcast. Those things need to get better. So that's where I'm always going to be. I'm always going to be analyzed. Okay, let's peel back the layers. What's going on underneath the cracks and beneath? Yeah.
Increasingly on the podcast, I will say, Twitter is awesome as a funnel, and it gets us a lot of people here who tune in. And even the haters, man, thank you all. Like, you guys are so intelligent with the way you go about posting screenshots of us, advertising us to your fans. Thank you. We actually hit a lot of peaks in viewership because of the haters. And I remember Keon used to always tell me that at Managing Madrid, hey, haters also drive the views, man. You don't always have to be in love with the fans. And thank you to all the haters. Like, you guys are monetizing us faster on audio platforms and stuff.
We love it. We love it.
We appreciate you all. And all the smart fans tuning in, appreciate you. If you're a smart fan and you tune in, I just want to point out, Twitter has declined as a place to get information, and there is no replacement. Threads and Blue Skies, Jarod will attest to. They're not getting the volume.
Yeah.
But the problem with Twitter is that it's a cortisol spiking algorithm now. It's designed for dopamine, cortisol spikes, shock and awe. This wasn't the case during our three-peat, man. It did change during, like, it literally changed the last few years because it's like an AI-driven algorithm. Everyone's verified. And on some level, it started pushing more stuff on the For You page. But whether it wanted to push an agenda or not, it realized, hey, I can piss you off and get more people on here. It just realized that. And I believe this is actually the trajectory of any such platform. I think you start off building trust with your audience, showing them, then you show them the things they want to hear. And not us, we won't do that. But I'm just saying, no, never us. But like you create an algorithm that actually organically creates communities. Then you realize you're not getting enough out of it, and so then you push your agendas for advertisers, for investors. Or you push your rage bait to spike minutes per user. So the current Twitter, and I'm trying to follow more people and like really branch out and find all the right people and just promote them. Just retweeting shit now instead of tweeting, because like people like that deserve to get a platform. And right now, the majority of Twitter discourse on the For You page, it's a disaster. And so if you really want good stuff, I'm saying you got to tune into the show, because we're really gonna, like, honestly rage bait there. Like, it's honestly, like, just to be straight up, it's not worth our time to go and explain ourselves on Twitter. I'd rather just put a tweet mocking people like Marsa, saying Arbeloa fixed it, and having people talk. If you want to hear the full perspective, you're welcome to come here. But it's just funny. It's turned into a rage bait. Like, before it was with the link throttling. That's what started it. Before, it was a place where you could funnel the long form content, so you would have a long form attention span. Now, a lot of the fan base is being infiltrated by people with zero attention span. It's ridiculous. It's really just like fans of, like, purely social media fans who really don't know the game.
And it's results oriented, right? Which there's nothing wrong with results, but what is your underlying process leading to said results? If the process is shit, I don't care what the results are, because what that's telling me is that if the results are good, it's not sustainable, right? That's what that's telling me. And hello. This is what Madrid's been, right? Not sustainable, because the underlying process has been shit.
Yep. Lastly, did you like the new intro, Jarod? I know we were in a little rush, but isn't it fire?
I do like it. It is fire. Hope you guys let us know in the comments and when you're sharing this with people how much you like, what you think about the new intro. Way to do some things, because copyright infringement. We ain't trying to get in trouble out here in these streets.
Yeah. No, we bought it. I just got to go tell YouTube. Actually, got to make sure YouTube hasn't demonetized us over it. But yeah, we bought the music and all, and I think the music is better. We want to work on an outro. So many things we want to do, but the reality of the show and the team means we are constrained too. We're doing our best. We were supposed to have Hans, the Dutch guy, our Dutch Madridista, who went to the stadium, who took the clip of Courtois after Benfica waving the players back on the pitch, and that went crazy viral all over social media. He just got a little sick today, so sorry Hans couldn't make it. Talib was busy today too, but we will be back soon. Vacante is returning soon, and
return of Vacante. Get ready.
Yep. So we'll have a lot of public content, though I will say tactics and explaining things to people, it's not working as well, guys. So again, more of it is going to happen on the show. Some of it even may be for members if it's super academic, because the reality is the public sphere is not getting as good. So tell your friends about us, follow us. The algorithms are bad. Like, look us up on social media. We need organic support on the ground right now. And we got to raise an army so that one day we can take over together. We can all build power with the president and make sure we win Champions League after Champions League with the next president.
That's all we want.
Well, see you all on the other side.
Take care.